We're here today with the most incredible lady in the fashion industry, the original, the only one, Carla Zampatti. Carla is celebrating her 50 years in the business this year. Carla, thank you for having us at your home.
Thank you, Jackie. It's really lovely.
You were only 8 when you came to Australia from Italy, and you went to Western Australia, and it was the 50s. And there were loads of Italian immigrants at that time trying to settle into Australia. Did you experience any prejudice back then, or?
Actually, where we went was so small that I was the unique new Australian. So it was really wonderful because I was a bit of an exotic creature and couldn't speak English, and so they teased me terribly, but they also looked after me. It was really quite fun. The kids taught me how to speak because they taught me English simply because the school had one teacher and it was teaching the whole range of classes. So there was no such thing as, English classes. So I kind of learnt from...
What were your memories? Like it would have been so different for you. Do you remember?
Totally different. The biggest memory that I have is leaving our northern Italy village in deep snow in February and arriving in Fremantle in February. You can imagine. It was mid-30s, so it was really, really hot. But I loved, there was something about the atmosphere of Australia that really appealed to me. I could sense the freedom, the space, and I love that.
What are the 3 biggest lessons you've learned about leadership?
I think the best leaders have wonderful people skills, valuing people. I learned very early in my career that a motivated person whom I had given responsibility to was about 4 or 5 times more productive, more efficient than somebody whom I had to push all the time and talk to all the time. So if you employ someone who shows leadership and you give them an opportunity for growth and you give them responsibility and you give them some space, it's amazing how rewarding it is. And being one of the team, I was never the boss. I was always one of the team. If there was something to do, you just hop in and help and do it.
What do you think, how do you think your team would describe you?
She's fair, but she's tough but fair.
You've been married twice, and the first time when you were 22, and that lasted, I think, 6 years, and the second to John Spender for 34 years. What have you learnt about marriage, or actually what have you learnt about men?
Not much. I think it's tough. Men were, particularly that generation of John and me, are brought up to believe they are the leaders, the breadwinners, and someone in their life who's independent and wants to be independent sometimes can get in the way.
The biggest challenges, what do you think they are plaguing women today in business?
Children. When you have your children, who's going to look after my children? Can I leave them? Is it bad to do so? It was particularly bad when I had a nanny in 1970, and I was working really hard. That was really tough, and I must say.
Did you feel judged?
Yes, I was judged at that point. But today, I mean, women, women have gone a long way. And that has been the wonderful journey that I've had. From 65 to 2015, women have progressed unbelievably. But we have not worked out who looks after the children.
Looking back on your life, are there any regrets?
I don't even try, but I think bad experiences I move on from really fast. simply because I hate being unhappy. Being unhappy to me makes me sick, so I become very proactive and do things and get out of that situation, really escape it, and then put it away. I don't want to even think about it. I mean, you learn from it, but you don't want to dwell on it.
You have a retrospective book coming out later in the year.
Yes.
What can we expect?
I have a picture book, coffee table book. I have 2 books.
Oh.
One is a coffee table book with images from throughout that period, which I'm really excited because it's been a wonderful exercise gathering information that I'd forgotten about. Yeah. And the other one is an autobiography, which I kind of feel exposed, but on the other hand, I think it's worth telling.
What do you think about the current fashions and, you know, trends and things like that? Do you look and go, oh God, not that?
The only thing that I perhaps cringe at is when there's too much flesh. And I think it's so unnecessary, it's not particularly beautiful.
Is there a ritual when you start a collection? You know, there's obviously a process, and you've been doing it for so long, but is there a ritual that you follow?
Fabrics. I start with fabrics and think about colours that haven't been around for a while. Because I mean, I have my standby, which is cream and black, and red. I think we always have those 3 colours in our collection. But then I think, what is the colour that hasn't been around for a while, that we haven't done for a while? Okay. So, and I look at beautiful fabrics and see how they perform, look at how they feel, you know, how they look and how they feel. I have a big mirror here, and I try them against, stand back and look at a distance.
So you try most of your things on, you try everything on, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. It's incredible.
It makes, I think that's my secret. Probably not a well-kept secret.
No. What do you think is the most important rule of fashion?
Not to overdo it, perhaps. I think it was Coco Chanel who said, before you go out, look in the mirror and take something off, meaning a trimming.
Not your bra.
Trimming.
You've been named an Australian legend, and you've even had your own stamp. What does it mean to you to be, do you see yourself as an Australian legend?
No, I see myself as a very fortunate woman who happened to be doing something that touches people's lives. Fashion does. It makes a difference.
Well, feminism was coming into its own, and independence and getting a voice.
Yes, when women were becoming independent and taking control of their lives, and I've been part of that. So,
well, a huge part of it.
Well, I've been helping them along, simply because I think it's wonderful. If you go to a meeting and you have something on that you feel really comfortable and right in, and you're looking your best, it does give you confidence. So that has been my role.